Coach, thanks so much for joining us today. Just if you want to give an opening statement about the game, you can go ahead and do that, and then we will get into some questions for you.
Yeah, congrats to Bowling Green and Robin and her staff on having a great year, finishing first in the league. And obviously disappointed in the outcome of the game. This is really a tale of two halves. The first half, we really did everything we wanted, both offensively and defensively. We knew what to expect the second half. We talked about it at length at halftime, but they took it, they earned it, and that's what a championship team does. So you got to give them a lot of credit. I thought we could have performed way better. We didn't rebound. Everything the first half we did well. The second half, with the exception of turnovers, we didn't do in the second half, and that was really disappointing because I expected this game to really come down to the wire and give ourselves a chance to win.
A reminder, if you have a question for Coach Castro, to please use the raise hand feature, and I will call on you and we will get your question. Coach, just talk a little bit about that first half. I mean, everything was working so well for you guys. What do you attribute that to? What was the kind of game plan going in to hold them so well in the first half?
Yeah, just executing the game plan in terms of keeping them out of the paint, guarding drivers, contesting shooters, not letting post players beat you up in the paint, and we did every bit of that. The one thing we didn't do in the first half, I thought we could have been better, was transition defense, but I think we really corrected that in the second quarter. So from that standpoint, we were really solid defensively. Offensively, we were making the right reads. We were making them wrong. We were forcing to rotate, and we were knocking down open shots. I mean, we were shooting 50% at halftime. So we were being really efficient. The times that we were taking care of the ball, when we weren't taking care of the ball, that hurt us. So that was really the difference in the first and second half, that we just couldn't carry over in the second half.
And then talk a little bit about some of the seniors on your team, how proud you are of them. I mean, Ariana had a great game today, obviously, and a strong season overall. Just talk a little bit about those players and what they've meant to this program.
Yeah, Ari, I just got done talking to the team, and although Ari wasn't here for 4 years, she made a huge impact on our program, on how we do, how we work. She's the first one in the gym. She's the last one to leave. She works incredibly hard. She's a phenomenal talent. And I almost feel like we just wore out. We just didn't have the depth to give her blows and give her a break. But she was so good all year. And I look forward to seeing what she does moving forward. Autumn Hudson, somebody that was here 4 years, really her senior leadership this year was awesome. Last year she played 30 minutes, and with Sanara Gaines coming in this year and playing at a high level, her role really changed, and she handled it like a senior. So I was really proud of her. And Corian, who was a graduate this year, and gave us some quality senior leadership. She's been with me here the whole time. So she's got a special place in my heart because we've really been through it together. And then Jabria Knight, who we asked to come off the bench literally as a manager and help us out 2 years ago when we were just decimated by injuries. And she came out and gave us great energy and life. It's not an easy thing to do, to go from manager to scholarship player, and then we're still asking you to make all the times and things of that nature. So really excited for what the future holds for those four.
A reminder, if you have a question for Coach Castro, to please use the raise hand feature. Coach, just a final question for me. I mean, what are you looking forward to in the future? Obviously, a lot to build on with this program, with Skeins as well. Just talk about a little bit about the future of the Eastern Michigan program and where you expect to go from here.
Obviously, I think we've managed to incrementally get better every year. We had some injuries this year that really took a toll, especially as the year progressed. Some of those players will be back next year healthy. I think we'll have a different type of energy, which I look forward to coaching, a different style of player, which I think will fundamentally change how we do certain things, which I'm looking forward to from a coach's perspective, be able to change some of the things that we've done in the past to keep improving and use our talents, put them in better positions to be successful. So those are all things. And then I'm really looking forward to this offseason. This second half was, disappointing is an understatement, but we're going to use this game very much as fuel this offseason. This is not going to be a game that we pass over. This is not going to be 2 quarters that we just say, oh, it didn't go our way. We're not going to point the finger. We're going to look and be really honest with ourselves in terms of what we got to do to get better and how to take this program really to the upper third of the MAC, which is a great conference and something that I look forward to competing in.
Awesome. Well, if there's no other questions, Coach, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. And good luck next year. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right. We should be joined by Eastern Michigan redshirt senior Ariana Combs very shortly. We're going to take a second here and reset, and we'll be back at it very soon. Oh, perfect. Ariana, how are you today? Thank you so much for joining us. A reminder, if you have any questions for Ariana, to please use the raise hand feature, and we will get to you in the comments. So Ariana, just give an overall impression of the game. Obviously, it didn't end the way you guys wanted, but you guys started off with a very strong first half. So just talk a little bit about the outcome of the game and what you're feeling out there.
The outcome of the game is not something that we wanted. Bowling Green, give a lot of credit to them. They played hard through the ups and downs. They stayed together and they stuck it out. First half, we were real locked in, very prepared, knew everything that was coming. We had a lot of gas in the tank, and towards the end, we just ran out of gas. And Bowling Green, they got a lot of easy stuff. The momentum went to their side, and it was just like a trickle-down effect. But I give a lot of credit to them for sticking it through.
And talk about that first half game plan a little bit. Was there a certain thing you guys were trying to do to throw them off balance that obviously seemed to work in the first half? And then what kind of changed in the second half from your perspective?
Well, we pride ourselves a lot on defense. I had the assignment of guarding Lexi, good player, but I had the assignment of guarding that, and then all of our other players, we knew that their matchups were good, so we were trying to just keep everything in front, take away the shot right off back, and then pop back so we can guard the drive. And a key to our success was our rebounding first half. Towards the end, we weren't rebounding. We weren't closing the gaps on the drives. We were giving up layups, and we were starting to foul a lot. So the momentum just went down. After they went to the free throw line, our heads were down, and we just seemingly couldn't get back up after that.
Obviously, an incredible career for you at Eastern Michigan. Looking back on your time, what is going to be, one of the things or maybe one of the games that stood out to you?
Game that stood out to me the most was last year, first round of the tournament. We played Ball State. It was literally a 40-minute game. We literally fought till the buzzer went off, and we ended up winning. And it was just like it was just a great year that year. Like we had like an up and down year, but we figured it out towards the end. We really had high hopes, but sadly, due to Corona, the tournament was closed. But we ended it on a very high note, beating Ball State, you know what I'm saying, coming off of a win, playing really good, about to go to the semifinals. That was probably like one of the most memorable moments of my career here at Eastern.
A reminder, if you have a question for Ariana, to please use the raise hand feature. Final question from me, Ariana, just talk a little bit about Coach Castro and his, mindset and coaching ability, just what kind of impact he's had on you from your time at Eastern.
Me and Coach Castro, we have a really good relationship. We get along very well. He's definitely a do or die coach. He prides himself a lot on defense, and so have we. He lets you play. He trusts you. If you're struggling with things and stuff like that, he'll give you the workouts that you need. He's always there to help. Certain things you can come to him in the middle of games. If you see something that he doesn't see, like he's always just willing to hear you. Not necessarily he doesn't take your side every single time, but he's always willing to hear you, understand, and like he's always for his players. I love Coach Castro. Me and him have a really good relationship.
Awesome. Well, if there's no other questions, Ariana, thank you so much for your time, and best of luck in the future.
I've got one question for.
Oh.
Yeah. Hey, can you just talk about the foul disparity? Did that impact the way you guys were playing as far as foul trouble?
Definitely. I think it was Jenna and Sanera, two of our key players, that we need. They got into foul trouble, so we didn't have to go deeper into the bench, which our bench is not really that stacked. But it definitely put a lot on others' shoulders to come in and like fill the spots in their void. I believe that they tried their best, but foul trouble really took a toll on us because we don't have a long bench, and it definitely drained our momentum.
All right. Thank you very much. Congratulations on the great career.
Thank you.
Well,
Thanks, Ariana. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Eric, you good with us?
All right, guys. Thank you to Eastern Michigan. We will be joined very shortly from the Bowling Green Falcons coach Freilich, and I believe Kenzie Lewis will be joining us as well. So we're going to grab them really quick, and we will be right back. So thank you.
You to unmute.
Let's see.
You fired up? You fired up right after?
Eric, this is Mike Sheehan. Can you hear us?
Yes, we can hear you. I'm going to pin you, coach, really quick, and we will get started here. All right, perfect. And please, if you have a question for Coach Freilich, to please either type in the chat that you have a question, or please use the raise hand feature before you unmute. That way I can, tell who's asking the question at the same time, or we can get to that. So thank you so much. Coach, just open up with a statement about the game. Obviously, second half went your way really well. Just give an overall statement and your thoughts about moving on.
Yeah, epic tournament time. You could feel it. I thought that first half, there's a number of things. I thought Eastern played really well. I thought we kind of got out of sorts with just decision-making, shot selection. But we hung in there. We hung in there. I thought defensively we hung in there in that first half. And then in the second half, I thought we just relaxed a little bit. We got way better shots. We did a much better job getting to the free throw line, which was really critical for us in that second half. And we guarded incredibly well in that second half. So I love our kids' toughness. I love their fight, and we did a good job of just chipping away and putting together consecutive possessions in that second half.
All right. First, we're going to go to Mark Kuntz. Mark, you can unmute your mic.
Hi, Coach. Can you give us an update on Lexi Fleming? Was that a shoulder injury that she had coming into the game? What's her going forward? Do we have any idea?
I'm not totally sure, but I know our doctors and trainer are going to do a great job. But it was something that happened in the game.
All right, and next we're gonna go to Jordan Strack. Jordan, you can unmute your mic.
Robin, where were the nerves at going into the half, and was that a product of maybe some young kids getting to play in this environment for the first time? And how proud were you of them to be able to figure that thing out coming out of the halftime break?
I don't have a nerves barometer, but I think with the way we were playing, you could definitely see some of that. But this team has been really resilient all year. They have shown a lot of fight all year. So that's something that I always trust in the game, even if we're not playing at our best or playing optimally. Our toughness and our fight and our resilience are things that I have seen day in and day out. So kind of regrouped at halftime, and I think we saw a much better version of Bowling Green women's basketball in the second half.
All right, we're gonna go to Chase Bachmann. Chase, you may unmute your mic.
Robin, what do you make of Kenzie Lewis's performance? I mean, I don't know how many points she finished with, but the amount of rebounds that she had, I think she finished in double figures in the steals. I mean, how important is that when you have someone like that can grab rebounds and play defensively the way she does?
It was a game changer. I mean, she was a total game changer for us tonight. She had 14 points, 11 rebounds. She was guarding a lot of tough matchups. She got to the free throw line a ton in that third quarter, fourth quarter, which just really helped us chip away. It was off rebounds. It was off being aggressive. And I'm really proud of her because we actually talked after the Buffalo game about her being more aggressive, more assertive. And, credit to Kenzie for showing up today and doing that really well. I mean, without her, I don't know if we win that game tonight. But she was a huge catalyst in that second half.
All right, next we're gonna go to Mark Monroe. Mark, you may unmute your mic.
Yeah, hey, Robin, can you talk about your team's defensive effort, particularly in the second half? You limited them to 16 points. That's something you've hung your hat on. You had to be proud of the defensive effort.
So proud of that. That's something you can control all the time, is your ability to guard, to move together, to stay together, to keep them to one shot. I thought we did a good job of keeping defending without fouling. Our defense in the second half was outstanding. And I give our kids a lot of credit because we ask them to play really hard with the way we want to guard. And they continued to do that.
All right, next we'll go to Elton Alexander. Elton, you may unmute your mic.
Thank you. My question was asked, so carry on.
Oh.
Okay, thank you. All right, we will go to Jordan Strack again. Jordan, go ahead with your question.
Robin, if you guys have to do this without Lexi, how confident are you that you guys can still get this thing figured out? How happy were you that you guys were able to respond when she did go down with the injury?
Jordan, the thing that I've loved about our team all year is that we have been a team. We've had so many different people step up different nights. We haven't just relied on one player night in and night out to carry the load. So we'll see how what happens moving forward. But the strength of our team all year has been the team, and we will continue to rely on that.
All right, next we'll go to Mark Kuntz. Mark, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Robin, you mentioned defense is one thing that you can control. Another thing you can control is making free throws. That pivotal third quarter, 14 of 16 from the free throw line. How gratifying is it as a coach to have your team make free throws? That's obviously something that you practice every single day, that players practice for years, but to come through when you need it the most, they did it.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at the game of basketball, typically, great teams do simple things well. They make free throws, they make layups, they make open shots. So that's really important, to be able to be on the right side of the scoreboard. Being a good free throw shooting is a big part of that. And we have done that all year. We've been a good free throw shooting team. And so I was really proud of our kids in that second half for stepping up. And we really closed the gap at the free throw line. And then we were actually able to get a lead there. So that was good for us.
All right, next we'll go to Clint Corp. Clint, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Hey, Coach, congratulations. The way that the team started from the field today, it was kind of a similar to what we saw at Buffalo there. I think you were 8 out of 34 in the first half. Now, do you attribute that to what you already mentioned, to nerves, or is that what we hear so much about, the sight lines at a big arena like a field house there? What do you think caused that for you?
If I had the magic wand for that answer, that'd be great, because then I'd know it, but and it's the MAC tournament. We all have seen each other a lot, so that's part of it this time of the year. There's not many secrets when we're going up against another conference opponent. So I don't know if I have the magic answer for that, but I do know that our toughness and resilience has stayed really consistent.
All right, Clint, we'll go back to you for one more question.
Thanks. Just one more quick one, Coach. You already answered the question about Lexi and her health, but it seems like the second half of the season in particular, teams have played her more physical on the defensive end. Have you noticed that, where teams are trying to body her up and maybe get her off, out of rhythm a little bit?
Sure. She requires a lot of attention. A lot of teams are putting their best defender on her, and credit to Lexi. She's a freshman in the MAC, requiring other teams putting a lot of attention on her because she has been such a dynamic player on both ends of the court. But she is an elite competitor. So I always trust her fight throughout a game, regardless of how people are guarding her.
Awesome, Coach. Thank you so much for your time. Congratulations, and we will see you on Friday.
Thanks, guys. Thanks so much for being here.
All right, next we will be joined by Kenzie Lewis. Just give 1 second here.
Hey, Eric, is there any way you can try to pin Mike Sheehan's thing? It's not
pinned.
No,
it should be pinned. It says remove pin. So
okay, it's bouncing back and forth on it. Maybe it's working okay on your end. Thank you.
Yeah, let me check on that. Kenzie, just give us a quick opening statement about the game. Obviously, a tough first half for you guys, but you guys were able to rebound and bounce back in the second half. So just give us your opening thoughts.
Yeah, I think we got off to a slow start in the first half. It's a new environment. It's a team that we haven't played in a long time, and we just weren't playing our game. But if there's one thing we've learned, it's that we've got a lot of fight, and I think that showed in the second half.
All right, a reminder, if you have a question for Kenzie, to use the raise hand feature or type in the chat. First, we're going to go to Mark Kuntz. Mark, go ahead with your question.
Kenzie, you mentioned the second half. What was the difference? What changed in that second half? Obviously, you guys were spectacular from the free throw line in the second half. Was that the key to making better shots? Was just getting people more comfortable from the free throw line, or was there something else?
I think that our success in the second half came mostly from our defense, our defensive effort, and just our effort all around. I think defense turns into really good offense, and we were able to get going and get comfortable. And I think the defensive end was a really big part of that.
All right, we're going to go to Jordan Strack. Jordan, go ahead and unmute your mic.
In this environment, the way that you guys responded, what was said at halftime, and maybe how did some of the younger players kind of like you react in this environment for the first time?
Yeah, I think the main message during halftime was that we need to get back to playing BG basketball. It's what has brought us all of our success this year. And so we just needed to get back to that, and we needed to take a few deep breaths and go out there and play the way that we knew we could.
All right, next we're going to go to Chase Bachmann. Chase, you can unmute your mic.
Kenzie, you guys have a couple of players finishing double figures, yourself included. How do you guys kind of share the ball? What's your philosophy about that? Is that really deliberate to get multiple people in double figures, or does it just kind of organically come out of the game?
I think one of the best things about us is that we play as a team and we share the ball so well. So you never really know who's going to be in double figures any given night. And I think that's one of our biggest strengths, is that we have so many people that can do so many different things and step up each night. So I think that comes organically from us being such a together team. And that's when we're at our best, is when we're sharing the ball.
A reminder, if you have any final questions for Kenzie, to please type in the chat or use the raise hand feature. Kenzie, just talk a little bit about when Lexi went down, what you guys talked about as a team to kind of not only rally around her, but rally around each other to get the win.
I think it took all of us off guard. You never want to see your teammate hurt or down. And especially Lex, she's my roommate, so her and I are pretty good friends. And I think we just knew that the way to rally around her and the way to honor her was to come back and get ourselves back into this game and get the win. And I think we did a really good job of doing that.
Awesome. Well, if there's no other questions, Kenzie, thank you so much for your time. Best of luck, and we will see you on Friday.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. A reminder to everyone on the call, this has been recorded and will be uploaded to a Dropbox link and sent out in the near future. So thank you all for joining, and we will see you on Friday.